Okay, so good morning, everyone. This is the ELT125, section 2. And today we are going to have a more practical lesson, I will say. And we are going to play a game first. During the, before we start the lesson, we are going to play a game. So this game is called, there it is, Celebrity Tweets, Real or Fake. And here you have to identify if the following celebrity tweets I am going to show you are real or if they're fake. So this is the first tweet. And it's from Melania Trump, and it says, "What is she thinking?" What do you think? Is this tweet real or is it fake? What do you reckon?
I think it's fake.
You think it's fake? Patricia, what about you? Thank you, Maria Fernanda.
I don't know. I expect everything from the Trump people, so I think it's true, maybe.
You think it's true? Well, this tweet is actually true. It's not a fake tweet. She did tweeted that on the 10th of August of 2012, like about 8 years ago. So she wasn't like in the spotlight yet. She was known, but not as much as she is today. But she did tweeted that. So this one is the second one, also for one Trump person. So it says, "Shrek is overweight and Fiona is enabling him. Sad." What do you think? Is this tweet real or is it fake? Trump is known for giving his opinions, especially about movies. So what do you think? Is this real or is it fake?
I think it is fake.
Okay. Maya, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's fake because he don't have the check in his name.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't realize about that.
Yes, and he always have it, even after he was president, because he's like a businessman.
Yeah, he's a businessman. He was actually also like a TV show presenter or something like that. So he was well known. He even appeared in Home Alone, one of the typical movies we watch on Christmas. So yeah, he has been known for at least 20 years now, I will say. Cristobal?
Yes, miss?
You wanted to say something?
No.
No? Okay. So yeah, this tweet is actually fake. So well done. This is the following one, and it's by T-Pain. And it says, "Ever wonder how many ghosts you have hit with your car?" T-Pain is an American rapper, by the way. Do you think it's real or fake? You think it's real? Okay. What about the rest?
Me too. I think it's real.
Think it's real? Okay. Yeah, this tweet is real. It's a real tweet. And have you asked this question to yourselves? Have you thought about this before? Because this is the first time I'm thinking about this, and now every single time I'm in a car, I'm going to think this, and I'm going to remember this tweet. This is Jorge.
No, nothing.
No, you haven't thought about this. Well, this is the following tweet, and it's by Michael B. Jordan, the actor that appeared as the antagonist on Black Panther. It says, "The B in Michael B. Jordan stands for biggest SpongeBob fan." What do you think? Is this one real or is it fake?
I think it's true.
Okay. Cristóbal?
Yeah, I also think it's real.
You think it's real? Well, in this case, even though it has the blue, I don't know how you call it, but like the blue check mark, it is actually a fake tweet. So you got tricked. It wasn't real. It is fake. We don't know if he's a SpongeBob fan. I am, but I know if he is. So this is the one. This is the following one. It's by Ariana Grande, and it says, "Beep bop hee hee. I'm a robot." What do you think? It's real or is it fake? Is it real or is it fake?
It seems like a fake one, but one thing make me think that it is real.
Mm. I am remembering now that she got a tattoo on of like some Japanese kanji letters, and it ended up saying like Japanese barbecue. So from her, I will expect a lot of weird things.
Yes,
Amaya?
for that.
Yeah.
I think it's not real.
Okay. Cristobal, you wanted to say something?
When you told us that story, I think now that is real.
Yeah, it was real. She wanted to get a tattoo that, with one of her song titles that was Seven Rings, but she got the wrong kanji, like in a wrong position, and instead of saying Seven Rings, it ended up saying like Japanese barbecue or something like that. And then she tried to fix it, and it was even worse. So yeah, but this one it's fake. This one it's not real. She never said that. Last one, and it's by Ed Sheeran, and it says, it upsets me when restaurants think they are too good for ketchup. No one is too good for ketchup. Ketchup is too good for you." What do you think? Is this one real or is it fake?
I think it's fake.
You think it's fake?
Me too.
You too? Ed Sheeran is known for his kind of I don't know if deep lyrics, but he has some beautiful lyrics. In he has written beautiful lyrics in his songs. So yeah, this one is actually real. He was upset when the restaurant didn't give him ketchup, but luckily he brought a bottle of ketchup from his home, and he made like a thread talking about this. So this one is real, believe it or not. Do you like ketchup, by the way, or do you prefer mustard or mayonnaise?
I don't
I
like it.
like.
So we have Cristobal who doesn't like it, and Jorge who does like ketchup. Why do you don't like it?
No,
Cristobal?
I like it.
Oh. And what about the rest? Do you like ketchup or not?
I like it.
Yes.
Yes. Just like Ed Sheeran, who apparently is very passionate about ketchup, I am also very passionate about ketchup, and I think I can eat everything with ketchup, even though if it's something that looks very gross, I put ketchup on it, so I can eat it without thinking that much about the flavor, because ketchup can cover anything, at least for me. So yeah, the previous week we were talking about assimilation and linking and intrusion, um, as you could remember. And today's lesson it's going to be about the same topics. We are going to work with assimilation during the first hour, and then we are going to move on in the second hour to linking and intrusion, but adding another features. And that's why that's the agenda for today. So we are going to have a formative quiz. That's more like a game and an activity game, I will say. And then we're going to have the 10-minute break, and then we're going to continue with linking and intrusion. But first, I would like to say this about assimilation, that it's something I don't think I've mentioned the previous session. And Amaya, can you help me, please, reading this? Amaya? No? Cristobal, can you help me reading this, please?
Okay, miss. Assimilation. It is believed that assimilation varies in extent according to the speaking rate and style. It is more likely to be found in rapid, casual speech and less likely in slow, careful speech. Raj.
Thank you very much. So this was said by Peter Roach, and basically it says that assimilation, the use of assimilation is going to vary between rapid, casual speech and between careful speech. But this doesn't mean that it's only going to be used in informal, in an informed speech, but a casual one. So it can be used in both, just for you to know, but it's more likely to be found in casual speech. So with this being said, now we are going to move on to our formative quiz. That is this activity, as I already mentioned, and it is going to be about. I like the combination. Oh yeah, there is Trump. I mean, I like the combination, but I like to eat them all separately. I'm talking about the capture, by the way. I like to eat them separately, but not all together. I don't know if I don't like to mix them all together, but I like to have them in individual, separate plates, if that makes sense. So this is our formative quiz, and it's presented to you as a Who Wants to Be Millionaire game. And I don't know if you have heard about this game before, but it is a very well known game. I think it used to be aired on Channel 13 here. And it's basically about people who is answering questions in order to become millionaires. And if you don't have questions about this, I think we can start the game right away. So without further ado, this is the first question, and I'm sorry I am not including the sounds for this game, but my computer glitched when I was doing it, so I stopped because I got a little bit worried that this was not going to work. So this is the first question. And in order for you to answer, I am going to write the alternatives in the chat, so you can choose an answer. Choose an alternative there. So this is the first one, and I am going to read the first one because it's the first one. It's a feature of connected speech in which there is an alteration of a sound speech to make it more similar to its neighbors. And the options are letter A, linking R, letter B, assimilation, letter C, intrusive R, or letter D, weak forms. So the options are now available on the chat. So please select the one you think it's the right option. For this, you have 30 seconds. We have 3 votes, 4. We are 9 minus 2, we are 7. 4. Patricia, that's not an option, sadly. Next time I am going to give you a rosco. That will be fun, but actually. Maybe we can have a rosco for the following session. 5. 2 more answers, please, before we move on. So, Jorge, Claudia, Cristóbal, Sebastián, Amaya already answered. We have one for C. Letter C.
Miss, I'm sorry, my chat is not working, but I want to press letter B.
Okay, thank you. It's okay. So, yeah, I mean, yes, all of you are right, because the right answer was assimilation. That assimilation is when we have one sound that is affected by the neighboring sounds or the sounds that are next to it. So yeah, this feature of connected speech we are talking about is assimilation, and all of these, all of the questions on these Who Wants to Be a Millionaire quiz are about assimilation. So this is the second one, and it says assimilation can take place, and the options are A, between two words, B, within a word, C, in isolated words, or letter D, across words boundaries or within a word. So I am writing the options in the chat. There you go. Now you're going to have 20 seconds.
Be serious question. Is it Chilean money or you save money?
This is USA money.
Guys, we are
Sadly.
gonna to be rich.
Yes, super rich.
Right.
This is the first one. It was for $100. This question is for $200, and the last one, obviously, because it's a million, it's the 1 million question.
I don't know why I start to look at the numbers, and I just remember the dollar and Chilean money.
Yeah,
And
it's not. This question is not for 200 Chilean pesos, so it's not 200 pesos. It's $200.
Yes, it was a joke. I was remember only the dollar is so is really expensive here.
Yeah, I think
And
it's about 800 Chilean pesos, $1, if I'm not mistaken.
yes,
Last
and
time I checked.
I remember that $5 in USA is nothing, and here is really is like
It's something.
around 900. Yes, it's like that. And I don't know. I was start thinking about that.
It's okay. Yeah. Well, coming back to the question, we have for letter A, 5 votes and 1 for D. So the right answer is letter D. This doesn't mean the other answers were wrong. Is actually all of the answers are right, but the most complete one is letter D, because the first option says between two words, and that's right, but that's the same as saying it's between the boundaries of those two words. Maybe they were across. Got you a little bit confused. And we got it. Assimilation can also happen in isolated words, and when we have an isolated word, assimilation is going to happen within that word, between the consonants of those words. So all the answers are right, but the one that it's the most accurate one, it's letter D. Now, for $300, we have question 3. And I am going to ask Amaya, can you read the first one, please? The question and the answers.
All right. Assimilation is a way a preceding sound has effect on a following one. This is the definition of A. Progressive assimilation. B. Consolidated assimilation. C. Regressive assimilation. D. No one of the above.
So, thank you very much. Is it progressive, regressive, coalescent, or none of the above? The options are in the chat. Ten more seconds. And the answer is progressive assimilation, letter A. Remember that a progressive assimilation is a type, it's a manner of assimilation in which the first sound is going to affect the second one. The direction of the assimilation is going to be, it's going to go forward. It's going to be progressive, I would say. It's going to go in a line in which it is going to go from the first sound to the second one. So that's because of that. That is because of that the answer was progressive, because the first sound it's going to have, or the preceding sound, it's going to have an effect on the second one. So now for $400, the question is, Cristobal, can you help me reading question number 4, please?
Okay, 4. A manner of assimilation which occurs when there is a fusion.
Thank you very much. The options are, the alternatives are now on the chat. You have 20 seconds. Ten more seconds. And now we are going to see the answer. So for the ones who choose letter B, that's right, it is coalescent assimilation, because remember that coalescent assimilation happens when we have two sounds and those two sounds influence each other equally. So so both sounds are going to change and are going to meet at a place in which they found like this middle ground or this middle point. It's okay, Claudia. They are going to find in this like middle, and they are going to fuse together in order to make this new, in order to make this new, not make this new sound, but they are going to find at a place in which they become a new sound. So that's why we say that there is a fusion between these two sounds. So now for $500, this is the question. And I am going to ask Jorge. Can you read this question, Jorge, please? Because Claudia is having problems with with her computer. Go ahead.
A bad person. A bad person is an example of what type of assimilation?
And the alternatives, please.
The A, progressive assimilation, B, coalescent assimilation, the C, regressive assimilation, or D, none of the above.
Thank you very much. The options are now available on the chat. You have 20 seconds. So let's see. The right answer was letter C, so congratulations to the 5 of you. And it is because here, as you can see, the word bad, it doesn't say bad in the phonetic transcription. It says bad. Bad. And it's because the second sound, the p, of person, it's affecting the previous sound. So it's having an effect on the D, and it's not going to be pronounced as a B anymore. It's going to be pronounced as a B, because it's going to acquire the characteristic of the P, and it's going to be bilabial now. So this is what regressive assimilation is. It's when a following sound has an effect on a previous one. So it's having a direction that is going backwards. Don't know if you remember that. But yeah, that's why letter C was the right answer. And now, by the way, if you have any questions, just let me know. You can ask me anything while we are doing this. So now for $1,000. The question is question number 6, and I'm going to ask Maria Fernanda. Can you read the question, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Which of the following alternatives is not an example of progressive assimilation? A. Football. B. Killed. C. Pigs. D. Girls.
Thank you very much. Please cast your vote. You have 20 seconds. So it's time. Let's see the answers. And the answer was football. And why, you may ask? Well, I am going to start by letter D. And in letter D, we have a case in which the sound of it's influencing the S sound, the plural one. So the S, instead of being pronounced as an S, is going to be pronounced voiced, just like the so it's going to be girls, girls. And the same happens in the case of pigs. The g, it's going to influence the plural, the S, so it's going to be pronounced as pigs. In the case of killed, the U, it's going to influence the past tense, and it's going to be pronounced as killed. And yeah, in the case of the last one, we are going to say football. Instead of saying football, we're going to say football. Football. So here we have a case in which the T is going to be pronounced as a P, because this is an example of regressive assimilation in which the V it's going to have an influence on the previous one, and in this case it's a T, because when a T is followed by a B, it's going to change. So yeah, this was the only example that it was not a case of progressive assimilation. Now for $2,000, we have question number 7, and it says, Maria Fernanda was the one who already read. Patricio, can you help me with this one, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Which one of the following alternatives is not an example of regressive assimilation? Letter A, tank. Letter B, think. Letter C, bank. And letter D, bags.
Thank you very much. You have the alternatives on the chat. Ten more seconds. And the answer is letter D, bags. In this case, all the other alternatives are words in which we have regressive assimilation happening, because, for example, in the first one, it's tank, and remember that we have an N followed by a K or a G or a G, and the N sound it's going to change to a ng. So here, this is the what happens in all the answers. In tank, in think, in bank, all the n sounds change into ng. So the only one that was a case of progressive assimilation was letter D, in which the plural s it's going to be pronounced as z, bags, because of the previous sounds, which was voiced. So congratulations, you all choose the same answer there. Now for $4,000, we have question number 8. And Sebastian, can you read number 8, please?
In colloquial speech, the phrase 10 bikes, the phoneme N, changed to letter A, ang, B, M, C, B, D, N.
Thank you very much. So now you have all the alternatives on the chat, so it changes to ng, or n. Ten more seconds. Let's see the answer. In this case, in the case of 10 bikes, the phoneme n, it's going to change to an because it's going to be bilabious. How do you say that word? Bilabialized. That's the one. It's going to be bilabialized, and it's going to anticipate the place of the mouth of the following letter. In this case, b. So it's going to be 10 bikes. Instead of saying 10 bikes, it's going to be more like 10 bikes. 10 bikes. So it was letter B. Congratulations. Yes, it's going to letter N. It's going to, it's going to be influenced by B. Therefore, progressive. It's a regressive assimilation, and it's going to adopt the place of articulation. Now for $8,000, we have question number 9. And Amaya, can you read this question, please?
Yeah, sure. In the phrase light blue, there is a change of which phonemes? A, T, B, B, T, K, C, T, K, D, D, E.
Thank you very much. So that's the phrase light blue. How is it going to change? You have 20 seconds. And the answer is, this one was more divided than the other ones. So we have 3 votes for A, we have 3 votes for letter C, and 1 vote for letter D. And the answer is letter C. And it's because, remember, when T is followed by P, B, and M, I think the word on. Yeah, when T is followed by P. No, it was not B. It was T. This one was when T is followed by P, T. Oh, light blue. What did I made a mistake. It must be, according to me. I'm going to check this one because I really don't know what happened. Because on my notes I have something, and now I'm thinking about it, and I am questioning myself. But according to me, the T is pronounced as P because of the same reason of the other one that adopts the bilabialism of the P. So instead of saying light blue, we say light blue. Light blue. Professor Bruna, are you there? I don't know why I got like this question all of the sudden. Is it? Are you there, by the way? Hello? No? Well, I am going to look for this, and I'm going to give you the answer during the second hour. But I'm pretty sure it's letter C. But for some reason, I am questioning myself. It's if it is includes letter B. So I am going to write that one, letter 9. But according to me, it's letter C. So now for for question number 10, for $16,000, we have Cristobal. Can you read this one, please?
Okay. 10. In the sentence, I have 10 cups, there is a change on the phoneme end of the word tend. To which phoneme? Letter A, P, letter B, M, letter C, K, letter D, N.
Thank you very much. Oh, I didn't for the answer, the alternatives. So there you go. You have now 20 seconds. You can let whatever reaction you want. So now I'm seeing a heart. You can, I think the options are like a surprise face, an angry face, a confused face. So you can let any reaction you want. So let's check this one. And I think I gave you the answer like 2 questions ago, because I said that when we have an N that is followed by an N that is followed by a Q or a Q changes to N, right? And for that reason, the right answer is letter D. No, we have an angry face. It's letter D. So it's going to be pronounced, I have 10 cups. 10 cups. Now, for $32,000, we have question 11. Cristobal already read. Claudia, you cannot speak, right? I mean, you're not going to be able to answer me if you cannot use your mic. Jorge, can you read question number 11, please? Jorge? No? I'm going to read this one. What is the correct phonemic transcription of the word gunpoint once assimilated? It's going to be gunpoint. It's going to be letter B, gunpoint, letter C, gut point, or letter D, gut point. So we have gunpoint, gunpoint, gut point, or gut point. You can cast your vote now. So we have all our money on letter B. And you are right. So this is a case of regressive assimilation. And yes, gunpoint is going to be pronounced as gunpoint once assimilated. Now question number 12. And Maria Fernanda, can you read this question, please?
Yes. What is the correct phonetic transcription of the phrase "would you" once assimilated?
Thank you very much. I am going to read the alternatives. And the first one is would you. The second one is would you. The third one is would you. And the letter D, it's none of the above. So would you, would you, and letter C, would you, and letter D, none. So we have one angry face for letter C. You have now 10 seconds, by the way. We have one angry face for letter C, one heart, and one thumb up. So now, letter C, the right answer. It's going. This is a case, if I'm not mistaken, of yes, it is a case of adolescent assimilation, because we have, two followed by G. So without being assimilated, this one was the answer, but because it has been assimilated, it changes to and G, right? So letter C was the right answer. Now for $125,000, we have question number 13. And I am going to read this one. Up and about, pronounced as up and about, is an example of A, progressive assimilation, B, regressive assimilation, C, coalescent assimilation, or D, none of the above. So you have the alternatives now on the chat. You have 20 seconds. So up and about. Up and about. I am going to give you a hint. Look at the word, the phrase, and then look at the transcription and see what sound is the one being assimilated, in order for you to find out what type of assimilation is. Is the first sound the one who's been changed? Is it the second one? Or are they both being influenced by each other? So let's see. The answer was progressive assimilation. And I know this one was a little bit trickier because not only assimilation is taking place, but also another feature of connected speech that we haven't covered yet. And as you can see here, we have up, which is transcribed as this. And then we have N, that in this case, it was pronounced as just an N. But because of the progressive assimilation, the P is going to influence the N. And for that reason, it's going to change the N as an M. That's why here it says abn, abn. So yeah, this one was a little bit harder, but that's why it was the $125,000 question. So now for question number 14. Maria Fernanda, can you help me with this one, please?
Yes. In the phrase, my dog is a good boy, which is the assimilation rule?
Can you read the alternatives, please?
Okay. A, D, P, B, D, B, C, D, T, D, none of the above.
Thank you very much. You have 20 seconds. Let's see the answer. Answer was letter D, letter B, and it's because when we have a D, the D it's going to change to a B in order to take the same place of articulation as the previous one. So it's going to be not read as good boy, but as good boy. Good boy. So that's why it was letter D. And now for the $500,000 question. It's an open question. And by doing this, we are going to do the recap of today, of the first part of the lesson, because after this, we're going to have the break after these two last questions. So now it's your turn to write on the chat. And can you give a definition of assimilation using your own words? If you don't want to write, you can also say the assimilation. Open, and you have to unmute your mic and do it. Amaya?
Yes, I would like to say it in my own definition.
Okay, go ahead.
For me, assimilation, what I understood, its assimilation is the connect with two words. When one of the words changes the sound of the other word, it can be regressive, that the word is after. Yes, it's after. Change one is before. Progressive. And yeah, I'm sorry, I was thinking.
It's okay.
It's the connection of the sounds. Is what people, English speakers, say, because they are, I don't know how to say,
Connecting
acostumbrados.
the maybe.
Yes,
Because all of these, because all of these are features of connected speech, and it means that all of these features, all of these little techniques are going to be used in order to connect the way people speak. Right, so assimilation is a feature of connected speech in which, as you already mentioned, but I'm going to say it with another words, one sound is going to influence another. And by doing that, they are going to change one sound to another. And we can have a progressive, regressive, or coalescent, in which the first one, in progressive, we have the first sound influencing the second one. In regressive, we are going to have the second sound influencing the first one. And in coalescent assimilation, both sounds are going to influence each other, and they are going to fuse into another phoneme. So yes, that's correct. And then we have, it's a sound change of words. Basically, that's it. It is when the sound, the phonemes are going to change in order to meet the whether the place of articulation, the manner of articulation, the voicing of another phoneme. So yeah. And now, before the break, this is the last one for $1 million, the $1 million question. And it says, write in the chat at least one example of your piece of homework of assimilation. Do you remember you had a homework? I don't know if you were able to do this or not, or were you able to find an example at least of one case of assimilation that you were able to listen to while you were doing your research? And I swear this is the last one before the break. One example of a word that changes. You can say the word, or you can write it on the chat or in the chat. If it's hard for you to think about one, now we're going to have the break, so you can write on. You can tell me an example afterwards. But remember, it's as simple as finding an example of progressive assimilation, for instance, plurals, ed endings. I don't know. There are so many. So that's going to be your homework for the break, or for the end of the lesson. You're going to find one, and you're going to write on this chat box. I mean, on the chat box afterwards. I am going to be checking on your answers. So yeah, in a way, I can say that you win the total prize of $1 million. So if you don't have any questions, I think it's time for the break. Do you agree? Do you want to have the break or not? Yes? Patricia? Hector? Yes? Yeah, okay. So I will see you all at 9:36. I mean, it's 9:36. I am going to see you all at 9:46. Because at that time we're going to finish our break. So I see you in 10.
See you.
See you.
See you.